And there was something else that I wanted to mention, uh, as well, which I think is kind of unusual and sort of shows that I was a bit different when I was younger. Um, when I was about 10 or 11, I think I was 11, I asked my mum that I said I wanted to have my hair cut short. So my mum took me to the hairdresser. She was totally cool with it. And she said she told the hairdresser to cut my hair like Demi Moore in Ghost. Um, which I was like, yeah, whatever. I just wanted it short for some reason. Um, and I guess the thing that we didn't realize was that when I was young, like sort of pre-pubescent, early pubescent, I was extremely thin, and I didn't sort of have, like, I didn't start getting my boobs at like 10, like some girls do. I basically had very little boobs at all until I was about 16. I was very thin. Um, but yeah, I don't think they realized that I was going to look exactly like a boy, and I did, and I constantly got mistaken as a boy, and it didn't upset me at all. In fact, I thought it was really amusing because people would say, like, my mum would be in a shop, she'd be talking to someone in the shop, and they would say, "Oh, your two sons," and mum would be like, "No, no, she's a girl," and they'd be like, "What?" And yeah, the uh, the first time it happened, I thought it was really amusing. It didn't upset me at all. And I don't think most little girls would be like that because I think most little girls and little boys are very like focused on everything being black and white and firm and fixed, and girls are like girls and boys are like boys. Yeah, so I think that's unusual. I think something that was really funny that happened was that I think it was my 11th birthday. We went to Pizza Hut, um, and I was sitting there and I had my short hair, but I had makeup on. I was obsessed with makeup as well as a kid. I think I just liked all the colours and things. I had like red lipstick on. So anyway, this waitress comes up from behind me, and she knew it was a kid's birthday party. So she puts her hands on my shoulders and says, "So, young man, what will it be?" And I turned my head around, and she she freaked out and ran into the kitchen and wouldn't come out for the rest of the night. I thought that was really amusing. I felt a bit sorry for her though, because she was so upset. And she probably thought that I was mortified, but I really wasn't. I just wanted to add that bit in. Anyway, obviously, it was something that started very young. And as you saw in um, the other clips, the doubts clips, um, it was a real worry for me when I was growing up, when I was a teenager, because as you know, everyone's just trying to fit in and be accepted, and I still wanted people. I was a teenager. You know, I wanted people to think I was cool and attractive and blah blah blah. And on top of these issues as well, it was also very evident to me from a very young age that I was also bisexual. So I had this gender thing and sexuality thing, and I mean, I didn't actually know until I was about 12 or 13 that such a thing as bisexual existed. So I was completely messed up for years and years, in early adolescence, because I kept seeing these documentaries about people being bashed because they were gay. So I thought that, like if I grew up to be gay, I was just going to get beaten up every day or something. Yeah. And also I got so confused because I didn't know bisexuality existed. So I would be like, I'd find a woman attractive, so I'd be like, okay, I'm gay. And then the next day I'd find a guy attractive. I'd be like, what? I'm straight. What the hell is going on? Right? And then so eventually I found out what bisexual was. And I was so relieved because I didn't know. I had been so confused. I read a lot as a child. I read a hell of a lot. And whenever I was concerned about something, I'd go get a book from the library and read it. I mean, my library records during my teen years would would be quite telling. Um, yeah. So, what was I saying? Oh no, I swore. Um, Yeah, so what I was going to say next was I even tried aversion therapy on myself, which is something that some really sadistic psychologists did to gay men, I think in the 70s. Um, yeah, so I think people are still doing it now, but it's really messed up. So what I would do was that I thought, if I associated being attracted to women with something really negative, that I would stop doing it. So, if it happened, I would sort of beat myself up really badly, like, psychologically. Eventually, the whole coming out process with me took a long time. I kept, like, sort of getting in, like, getting out of the closet, stepping back in, and blah, blah, blah. I'm still not fully out of the closet. And most people probably take me as straight unless I, talk to them. I know some people pick up on it. After I've told them, they said, yeah, well, it's pretty obvious. But because I'm in a committed relationship with a man, that's just how it worked out in the end. Yeah, so it doesn't really come up for me so much as an issue anymore in my day-to-day life, and most people probably don't know that I am. But for me, I will always identify as queer. I I belong in that category, and you guys are my comrades, man. So, in the end, probably what was the missing piece of the puzzle was my spirituality, which is kind of random, isn't it? I didn't expect it to, but it really did. Growing up in a Western society, um, obviously the first thing you reach for, well, not obviously, but in my instance, my family were kind of like lapsed Anglicans or something. My mum's like agnostic, but not atheist, and she doesn't go to church or anything. She kind of has a sort of more, I don't know, just a normal sort of agnostic sort of point of view. And there were Bibles in the house. There was her old child's Bible from when she was a kid. And I was just, because I knew I was called to the spiritual, and that was all I associated with spirituality was Christianity. Um, so I read the child's Bible. I used to actually read the child's Bible to my brother as bedtime stories. And when I got older, I actually read the Bible cover to cover. I mean, I'm sure some bits I skimmed, but I read every single word in that book. Um, and it really messed me up. Um, Particularly the Old Testament. Reading the Old Testament, it's just horrible. I mean, if you read it literally, word for word, it's very anti-woman, um, very anti-freedom of religion, very homophobic. Um, I mean, I know a lot of people will say that's not Christianity, but that's what the book says if you read it literally. Yeah, so that really screwed me up. And it's very patriarchal. And it's a patriarchal religion. God is defined as male. Um, there are some analogies to feminine qualities, but as a young person reading it without any ability to read between the lines, it was kind of crushing to my spirit. And my concept of myself as female as well didn't seem to mesh very well with my concept of myself as a spiritual person, because basically from what I could see, it didn't seem that there was any real worthy place for me in that worldview.